Welcome to our series on how to stand up paddle with Blue Planet Surf. Today we're going to talk about falling off the board and getting back on. So what do I do if I lose my balance? I feel it tipping and I'm like, I know I'm going to fall in. What do I do?
Okay, good question. So, I mean, a lot of times people are actually afraid of falling in the water, but it's really nothing to be worried about because it's just water. It's soft. You don't hurt yourself. Especially if you're going out on like where it's sandy bottom, you want to go in a safe place, obviously, to paddle. But one thing you want to avoid is falling onto your board. A lot of times people, when they fall, they think, oh, I'm going to try to avoid my fall and catch myself on the board so I can stand back up again. But then that's how you actually get hurt. And people I've heard people breaking their ribs or hurting their hips and damaging the board, damaging their paddle, all kinds of stuff. So you don't want to fall on the board. The board's hard, the water's soft, so fall in the water. And the other thing is if it's shallow, you want to avoid jumping in feet first because then your feet can hit the bottom. If there's like something sharp, even glass or something, or reef or something on the bottom, you can hurt your feet. So it's better to fall flat and let your body absorb the fall, and then you don't go deep. And then also when you're swimming, don't kick down because if there's reef or something like that on the bottom, you're going to cut your feet up. So it's better to just kind of get back to your board and hold on to the board and then try to kick the feet behind you. And then you can hold the handle with one hand in the middle of the board and just kind of slide your chest back onto the board.
Oh wow!
It's really hard to get on the board if you're kicking down. If you got your legs kind of underneath the board or you're kicking down, it took me a while to figure out. But I had this guy that couldn't get back on his board, and then I figured out he's trying to kick down here under the board and then lifting himself up the board, and all he kept doing is like flipping the board over and stuff like that, trying to pull himself up onto the board. But it's because his legs are kicking down, so if you can kick the legs behind you, then it's real easy to slide your chest onto the board and get back on it.
Wow.
And then you get back on your kneeling position, make sure you're in this right place around your handle, and start all over again.
Cool. And that's something that I never thought about. I mean, I've fallen off my board, a few times and stuff, and I never even thought about that. So I'm glad, that you're mentioning that now because, when you fall off, you're just like, you can't even think. You're like, oh, I should fall this way, I should fall this way. But I guess if you practice it, then, you won't have to think about it after a while.
Yeah. So we should practice a little bit today. And then another thing too is especially in the surf, it's actually good to hold on to your paddle. Like don't let go of your paddle. You don't want to fall on your paddle obviously, but if you hold it away from you or something, just fall and hold on to the paddle. If you lose your paddle, it's not a tragedy. Usually you would get back to your board first and then kind of surfboard paddle like a surfboard back to your paddle and grab your paddle. But in the surf, if the waves wash the paddle away, actually a lot of people lose their paddles in the surf. If there's big waves and whitewash and current, you can actually lose your paddle in the surf. So it's better to hold on to it, and you don't have to kind of go back and look for it later.
So once you're done paddling and you want to go back to shore, how do you get off your board safely?
Okay, that's a good question too, because a lot of times people will jump off their board, and the surface can be uneven or whatever. If you're moving and you're hitting the sand, you can actually hurt your ankles or your knees, doing that. So it's good practice to just kind of get back on your knees and then, gently put your foot down. Don't just jump off, So slowly get off, and also don't run the board into the beach because the little rocks and stuff on the beach, the board has a nice finish. It's kind of like a car. You don't want to scratch sand over the side of your door, right? That's not a good idea. So you just get off and then carry your board out of the water if you want to be nice to your board. Some people don't care. They just run it right into the rocks. So. But we care about our boards at Blue Planet, right?
Yep, I care about my board. I spend a lot of money on my board. And, just like a car, I want to keep it nice and shiny and looking good.
Exactly.
And last long. Give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and we'll have a new video posted every week. Aloha!
Aloha!